Here we are. This beautiful Sunday. It's rainy here, but hopefully it's better where you
Yeah.
are.
Now I'm gonna confess something. I was not coming on this thing with quarantine face. So I did a little something because quarantine face was not gonna catch me on camera.
Girl,
I'm so sorry.
listen. Okay, I have been waiting for this moment so I can beat my face at least once in the month.
I
Okay.
know.
Yes, Lord. I was like, give me a reason, Lord. Give me a reason. But no, that's cool. So we were talking, and this came about because I think that there are some conversations that you and I have had in the past. And, while we're kind of in this whole quarantine phase, we are taking time to, reflect and, dig in and dig up all those things that have kind of caused us to continually go in some of the same cycles, especially for myself, because Lord knows, woo, them cycles be crazy. So, from last year, this time, where I was just making the decision to leave corporate America and, leave my job in the hotel industry and hospitality and figure out what it is that I wanted to do with my life it was rough. There were some good days, some bad days, and I think overall it was taking the time to really figure out what's been holding me back. What are some of the issues that we deal with, and what are some of the things from the past that we kind of drag along that keep us from being as productive and successful as we want to be. So that's kind of what this topic of making decisions with a broken heart and how we make poor decisions and more guarded decisions based on the past experiences that we've been through in our relationships, be it family, friends, lovers, whatever. So just want to kind of open the floor for that today, have a little discussion, because I think some of the discussions that we have, I know they've been super healing for me, super helpful. To have someone else's perspective. So I think it'd be great to have a conversation, and maybe some more ladies will want to join in that conversation in the future. So what are your thoughts?
You know what? I think this is one of the best topics we could review. Let's say review
Hmm.
at this time in our lives where you are on a forced quarantine, which
Hmm.
is and if you put a positive spin on it, it could be a forced retreat because it does give you the chance to reflect and find out why things haven't gone your way or why things have gone your way and what made you go into those directions of what the result is today.
Right.
And I've been home now for about 2 months, since March, April, about a month and a half, going on 2 months, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's been a roller coaster of emotion. I'm not an
Hmm.
emotional person. I do
Right.
not carry my emotions on my sleeve. Everybody already assumes that Anne is good, Anne is tough, Anne is great. We'll check on her later. And that's okay because I don't need to be babied and coddled, but I am also human and I'm a woman
Right. Right.
and I
Right.
have instincts that are emotionally based,
Hmm.
driven.
Hmm.
Okay. So, with all of that being said, is that it gave me time to stop because I'm a locomotive. I'm constantly moving. I
Hmm.
never really take time for myself.
Hmm.
And I just moved into my apartment. I love my apartment. I'm getting a time to enjoy my apartment.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And putting things where they need to be. And I'm just gonna give you guys a quick sneak peek and don't ever tell anybody else. It's just between us, okay? I have Christmas boxes out that I'm going through. Who would have time to do that until
Right.
it comes until Christmas is here, and then you're like, oh my God, why do I have all this crap?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it takes that time to get with yourself, be with yourself, talk to
Hmm.
whoever's
Hmm.
around you,
Hmm.
get to the nitty gritty of what's happening. And I've always known, for me, my deep down root issue, I got daddy issues. I do.
Mm.
I
Mm.
even
Mm.
married my father
Mm.
unknowingly and with total rebelliousness of ever marrying my father, I actually
Mhm.
married my father.
Mhm.
It was so
Yes.
funny. And I have to laugh at it. I got two beautiful children out of it. I had a really great life raising my children. Loved it. Loved being a mom.
Right.
But I also realized that because of my daddy issues, I was super duper overprotective on certain aspects of it. And there were certain things I would stick to, I wouldn't move from it. And that sacrificed a lot of me in
Mhm.
getting me to where I need to be because I was too busy worrying about everybody else.
Right. 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 Yes. Yes.
What's your experience on that?
Yeah, that's definitely a huge part. I mean, for me, and let me just go ahead and issue a disclaimer for us. Um, in no way is this going to be a bashing session. We're not here to bash men. We're not here to bash family or
No,
anything like that. This is
no,
simply us sharing our experiences and being introspective about how those relationships have kind of altered our experiences. So this is not a bashing session. So we're just going to put that out there. This is not an angry black woman
no,
session. This is simply
no.
us kind of sharing our perspective on our experiences.
Self
So
reflection. Yeah.
yes, exactly. Self-reflection. So for me, I would agree there's definitely some daddy issues there. I mean, I didn't even know my father. I think I carried a lot of resentment because he made it a point not to be in my life. Um, and that's a story for a whole other session. But there's that craving as a young girl to have that relationship. And then as you get older, if you feel like there's a void there in any type of way, you subconsciously carry that into whatever relationships you get into. And I read a quote the other day from a young lady on Twitter. I forget her name, but it essentially said that abusive relationships are hard, whether it's mental, physical, whatever. But going into a new relationship and trying to heal that trauma is just as hard. Trying to go into relationships with other people, knowing that you have those issues and trying to work through them and break those cycles while you're in a healthy relationship can be a challenge. So it takes someone with a lot of patience and understanding to be able to help you through that, and vice versa, for you to help them through that. And I think that's a huge part of what I'm looking for at this point in my relationships, be it with friends, be it with, lovers, be it with whoever, family. It's how do
Right.
we break certain cycles and heal them, and keep a good open relationship without judgment. So
Mm,
yeah,
that's a good one. That's a
yeah,
really good one. Um, and again, these are personal experiences and these are personal um, options that you can use and incorporate in your own lives. But it's just for me, it's basically is acknowledging the issue. If you
right.
don't acknowledge and accept that issue and then let go, then you
Hmm.
will always be stuck in square one,
Right.
position
Right.
one, that never moving water flows in a river
Hmm.
and then it becomes stagnant at a certain point. And whenever it's become stagnant, it starts to grow that little green algae mossy thing on
Hmm.
it. That's your life if you can't let the river flow. You
Right.
got to get acknowledge it, understand it, and just watch it wash away.
Yes. Yes. Y'all see these gems she's dropping? Oh my gosh! Golden nuggets everywhere.
And and that little bit will start letting you see how things in your life have not gone the way you expected. Like
Right.
for me, it's interfered with my the business approach to life because I've had several businesses that I started, several almost successful businesses as far as getting it to that next level.
Hmm.
And I realized that every time it got to that level, it was a sacrifice. And I had
Hmm.
to choose. And I always chose my family over that next step because
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
fear and
Hmm.
not being able to provide, not being able
Hmm.
to spend time with them. And because of that fear, it's created this vast avalanche of
Right.
unsuccessful movements in my life
Mhm.
that have
Mhm.
brought me to the point where now I had to like let go. And even though I thought I let everything go, I didn't. And it's
Mhm.
now like at that point where I'm letting things go. I'm putting like even being on camera. I haven't been on I wouldn't take a picture. I can't even tell you how many pictures I have in the last
Mm.
10 years.
Mm.
And that's one of the biggest things because what I like to do and what I do is I like to help people. I like
Right.
to be in front of people. I'm a hands-on person. I like
Mhm.
to do things where if you're doing well, I'm doing well.
Right.
If you're going
Right.
to the next level, I'm going to the next level.
Right.
That's what
Yes.
that's what that's what drives me.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
helping people to get that next level without sacrificing myself. And I didn't realize
Mhm.
how I could do that and still be me.
Right. Right.
And I had that inner turmoil with of myself, not
Mhm.
being happy with myself. I love me.
Mhm.
That's a lot of people have to get over that part.
Right. Right.
One thing I know is that I love being Anne.
Mhm.
Anne is always gonna be Anne. But I didn't like the exterior part of Anne. And
Mhm.
that started
Mhm.
interfering with my business life too, because I
Right.
wouldn't put myself out there. Now, when I was young, slim, and everything was
Right.
all in the right
Right.
places,
When you were
I was out
snatched.
there. Exactly. No one could stop me. I was a force
Right.
to be reckoned with, you know?
Yes.
And then there was a couple of years that I just fell off. I did.
Right.
And it took my self-esteem with it, even though I'm very still outgoing, still out
Right.
there.
Right.
There's that hesitation.
Mhm.
There's that hesitation.
Mhm.
And it comes from that false was that fear of false evidence
It's
appearing real?
appearing real. Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And we do that to ourselves. And we do it
Yes.
with the relationships that we're in. If we're not honest with ourselves, whatever type of relationship you're trying to have, whether it's a
Mhm.
romantic
Mhm.
one,
Mhm.
family relationship, or a friend relationship, because a lot of friend
Right.
relationships are very, very fake and phony.
Toxic. Yep. Yep.
Toxic, yes.
That's
We
the
got to
truth.
get that toxicness out of our life.
Mhm.
And if
Mhm.
you can't be real with your family, like, okay, here's the thing. My brother and I have two brothers and a sister, and I'm very close with all of them. Uh, but my younger brother, we've been doing a lot of projects together, and we really realized we work well together. And
Mhm.
it took us a lot of years to really find that balance and that connection, even as
Mhm.
siblings, to where we're like, what are we gonna do? We need to do
Right.
something with this because
Right.
we work so well together. We are consulting with another a potential client, and and it was just that bond that we had to connect as a family
Mhm.
and really let go the issues that probably kept us separated for a
Right.
long time.
Right. Right.
You know, like one, if he's in a relationship with somebody, don't want to beat them down all the time.
Mhm.
Learn to love and respect them, you
Mhm.
know? And that's what I had to do. And
Mhm.
I'm not gonna say who that is, but it, but it's it turns out that not everything is as it appears, and if you just give it a chance, you'll find out you can turn things around,
Right.
salvage relationships that need to be salvaged. Some of them you
Yeah.
got to let go. You
Right.
got to let
Right.
go.
Right. You gotta know where when to let go and when to hold on.
Right, right. That letting go part. I felt like everybody should come on my journey. I
Mhm.
felt like
Mhm.
everybody should go. What if I
Mhm.
if I could hold on to you, or you could
Right.
grab a piece of my shirt? Just come
Right.
on, we gotta
Right.
go.
Right.
And that weight, oh Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That weight was real. It
Right.
was so real,
Right.
and my shoulders are hurting and sloping because of that. And
Mhm.
now
Mhm.
I can do like this because I shook them off.
Right. 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 Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, definitely. I
Yeah,
mean, I've can't tell you. It's funny because it's almost like the universe forced me to let go of a lot of weight that I didn't know I should let go of.
right.
Because when I was going through it, or I going through it, I'd say maybe 10, 11 years ago, I couldn't fathom that people who were in my life were toxic, were not good for me.
Right.
And because I'm like, I'm a pretty smart person, I'm a pretty wise chick, I would think. So, these are my friends. These are my friends. And this is, she has my back. He has my back. Meanwhile, they were just taking daggers to the back. And I was just like, oh, wait a minute. Why am I bleeding? And then I realized, like, people have ulterior motives sometimes. It's just, if somebody's going to try to get ahead and they don't value you, they're going to step on you to get ahead. So you really kind of have to be careful with that. And I had a lot of those people that were just like snatched out of my life, thank God,
Right.
because I just wasn't seeing it. And I wasn't willing to accept it until I had to. So I think that, once I realized, like, okay, Alicia, you can show everybody a little grace, but you got to be smart enough to know, leave it alone. Just leave it
Right.
alone. I just
Right.
left it alone. I said, if it's meant to be, then they'll do what they need to do to mend the relationship. If they don't, then I know that's not where the heart is. I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna keep it pushing. But I'm not gonna sit
Right.
here and try to drag them into a relationship that doesn't need to be.
Right.
So yeah, it definitely was a weight lifted, and once I accepted that and moved into a better headspace, not only did I lose that weight, oh, I could see my waistline. I was like, ooh, child. But I felt lighter. I just felt
Yeah.
so much lighter. And I think once I made the decision to cut my hair, that's when it all um, came to a head for me. And I was just like, okay, this is the last piece of energy from my past that I have to let go. And once I did that, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. It's like, okay, no more, accepting things that are not for me. I
Right.
have to be smarter, be wiser, and just learn to move on, let things go, and really start to pay attention to the people who can see my value and respect that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so funny because Sanaya Lathan's movie, I forgot the name of it, hair something, nappy hair or
Yeah, 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 yeah,
napa
yeah,
hair,
yeah.
something like that. It's amazing because women value their entire existence on their hair.
Mhm.
And it's in
Mhm.
a simple but drastic move like that can change your life.
Right.
I went
Right.
natural in 2013, and when I said, "Oh my God," I was a struggle. The struggle was real. It was
Mhm.
real. Like because it was so many years. I had not seen my natural hair without processing since I was 15.
Mhm.
I can tell you
Mhm.
how old I am now, but 15,
Right.
and
You're a little bit older, just a little bit.
just a little bit. And then to get into that, and I didn't know that I had like my hair is
Mhm.
beautiful.
Yes,
And
yes.
but to manage it, it was like we lost that ability to manage it. But yet in the
Mhm.
70s, you saw afros out to here,
Afros and
saw
puffs and
that
yes.
there, people not coloring their hair as much. And I don't
Mhm.
care what your
Mhm.
ethnicity is, your hair is beautiful and it's all part of you. So it's like
Right.
taking that drastic step to go back to your original you. That
Right.
itself, that within itself releases a ton of baggage,
Right,
a ton
right.
of
It does.
baggage.
It definitely does. It definitely does. 'Cause I think so much of our identity is caught up in our hair because that's kind of what we see all the time is, in
Right,
advertising and movies and, oh, the black woman needs to look like this or like this. This is acceptable. This is not. And it's like we've allowed for so long, the world to dictate what we should look like. And
right,
once you really say, no, this is who I am, you have to either accept it or kick rocks, then you really kind of come from a different place. And yeah, so when I cut my hair, it was funny because at the time I was, still working in hotels, and some of my staff, I remember one girl in particular, she comes from a country that's, they're a little bit more strict on their laws and ways with women, a lot more oppressing. And she says to me, why you cut your hair? Women needs long hair. Women needs long hair to be beautiful. I said, I'm so sorry if you feel that's what you need, but baby, I don't need it. I am beautiful no matter what my hair looks like. I could cut it all the way off. Okay, I cut
right,
my head off and still be beautiful. Okay, my
right,
who I am and how I feel about me has nothing to do with how you feel about what I look like.
Right.
And I think that's the thing, we sometimes get so wrapped up on what they think we should look like and what the standard of beauty has been. And I'm like, I've never cared about the standard of beauty. I've never needed to have long straight hair or whatever, the current norm is. I'm like, whatever I look like is what I look like. This is what y'all gonna get.
Right.
That's just how I
Yeah.
feel about it now. How
Yeah.
I show up in the world is how I'm showing up in the world, and you're gonna have to get over whatever you need to get over to get over it. So,
Right.
I think that's definitely a huge thing. I'm so happy to see that that's what's trending now,
Right.
is especially with Black women showing up in the world the way that we feel we need to show up, not what society is telling us how we need to show up.
Right. And if you need to add a little extra to make it happen, that's okay because that's
Right,
you,
right, right.
And
Exactly, exactly.
if whatever makes you feel like
Right,
but just
right,
keep you. Don't get
right,
lost. Like, okay, and I know this is probably off topic, but my girl, please, if you if you're gonna do you, when it comes off, still look like you. If you
right.
take it off and
And you a
someone
whole
is
nother person.
listen, and you a different person, you cannot sentence
Yeah,
someone for
right,
life because they committed
right,
murder because a stranger showed up in their bed.
right,
Don't do
right,
that
right,
because
right,
that's
right.
scary for
Yes,
anybody. So
yes,
if you're gonna
yes.
do whatever you're gonna do, there's
Right,
still be you under it.
right,
So when it comes
right,
off, there's no like, oh my
right,
God,
right, right, right. Exactly,
So that's a
exactly.
little sidetrack, but back to what we're
No, no,
saying now.
it needs to be said. Unless you're a drag queen, okay?
Now, my drag queens out there, applause, applause, because
Right,
y'all on point with that stuff. But
right,
okay,
right, right. If you're
but
not doing drag, then you should let the
yeah,
person know that your
yeah,
identity might be a little different before they get too wrapped up
exactly,
in it.
right. Like
Absolutely. Yeah,
the
yeah.
contortioning to the point where when it comes off, you're like three times the size of what
Right,
you
right,
contorted to.
right,
That's
right. Because you're
very
gonna use duct
deceiving.
tape to hold up your neck to try to look right.
Right. Don't do
Like
that.
this
Please. I beg you. Don't do that.
yeah.
Because you're beautiful, however. And if you need it to go up, come with me. We're gonna because I need to work on my little double here.
Right,
And we
right,
could, get on the floor, do some sit-ups, some chin-ups, whatever we gotta
right,
do.
right.
Let's do it that way. Okay.
Exactly, exactly. No
So now,
deception. No deception.
right. Now, sisters out there, and again, we don't care what your background is. This conversation, I know we're talking about relationships and everything, but that relationship with you is the main part of how
Yes.
you how you build relationships with others.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
I'm still working on me.
Mhm.
This is a never ending project right here,
Right, right.
and it's gonna be till the end of time till I get it right, and I'm okay
Mhm.
with that. But
Mhm.
as long as I keep working on me,
Right, right.
because I step back, I do two steps forward, 20 steps back, two
Mhm.
steps forward,
Mhm.
another
Mhm.
10 steps back. So
Mhm.
it's okay
Right,
because right
right.
now, what I'm doing is I'm making a list of the things I ever wanted to do in my life. Like,
Mhm.
one, get my finances under par because the one of the things that really I feared growing up with a family is that I couldn't financially take care of them
Mhm.
and get them the things that I believe they needed. And because of that, that put a lot of pressure on myself. So I'm working on the financial part of it, doing investing, doing different types of projects. I found out that I'm more creative than I am number cruncher. So
Mhm.
I do what I'm good at. And then I find others to do what they're good at. And if it's their number crunchers, I bring them on board and we work together. You know what I'm saying? So find
Mhm.
out what you're good at. Find out what that thing is that will wake you up at 5 o'clock in the morning and you jump out of bed without an
Right,
alarm clock and you're
right,
excited to do it.
right. Yes.
Because it's Sunday and I jumped out of bed this morning to put my non-quarantine face on.
Right.
So that way
To put something
we
other
can
than pajamas on, you know.
exactly. Y'all see this, right? I pulled on the top of y'all. Y'all getting
You
some good
know.
clothes.
I put on a bra. Y'all better
I
respect
know.
my game here, girl. I ain't seen these girls in a minute. They've been hanging low, okay?
So it's just the conversation is about relationships, but it's also about working on you first.
Right.
Because when you work
Absolutely.
on you, anything that's toxic will fall to the wayside. You don't have to really
Hmm.
get rid of them. You don't have to actively get rid of them. They will get rid of
Right.
themselves.
Right, exactly. Because they're not going to want to be around that energy. Once they
Right.
see you not really putting up with the crap that you used to put up with, it's a wrap. They're going to be like, oh, you know what? This ain't for me no more. Let me go because she ain't about to take nothing. Bye.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. So
Right.
definitely, you can't really, you can have relationships, be with friends, family, whatever, but they're not going to give you the same satisfaction of whenever you fix the things that are within you. It's just a whole different level on how you interact with people when you fix some of your own crap,
Right.
within yourself. Is just different. And I think that's the thing that I'm appreciating so much now is that this time last year, I knew, I knew that I just was not willing to put up with certain stuff anymore because I recognized within me that I had kept on putting up with the same excuses, the same, bad habits. And I'm like, no, Alicia, it's gotta stop. It's gotta stop. And I saw the repercussions of me continuing those behaviors. And it's like, okay, well, here
Right.
you are again. And it was like the universe was beating it into my head, like, no, no, no. And I was like, okay, all right. So finally, once I gave in, I said, okay, you know what? Let's start trying to create some better habits, some better patterns, and not focusing on things that are distractions. Let's try to find something, like you said, something that you can be passionate about to keep your focus and keep you in alignment with what's for you. And I think from then to now, I can definitely say that I have better discernment when it comes to my relationships. And I can quickly see when I'm going back or, how do I say, regressing back into some of those bad habits. It's like, nope, let's go. You got to be able to snap yourself out of it. You wait your whole life for somebody else to tell you you're on the wrong path. Honey, you're going to be on that
Oh,
path for a long time. A
what?
long time. You're going to be
That
deep in
fork
that
road is
forest.
not coming anytime
Woo!
soon.
No time
It's
soon.
about,
It's gonna be hot and
yeah.
dry out in that desert. So it's like you got to be able to put your own self back on track, because otherwise
Right.
you'll be lost for so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
So it's definitely important. I think healing yourself, and I had this relationship with one of my cousins a lot because she's kind of going through what I had gone through, 10 years ago, 11 years ago. And to see her go through that process and to see other young women go through that process of grieving because you're in shock that these relationships are over. Um, your whole life, the dynamics of your life change, when it comes to your relationship with your children, how you're dealing with your children, especially if it was with a spouse and y'all are no longer together. Like, how do you make that work? How do you co-parent? Co-parenting is not easy. And if you can get it right, it makes your life so much easier. But a part of getting that right is really working out the crap within your own head and
Right.
getting rid of ego. Oh, ego has killed so many conversations between my daughter's father and I. Like, stuff that could have been so simple,
Right.
because we held on to that ego standpoint, made it so difficult. And the people who suffer the most are the kids
They get the
trapped in the
kids,
middle of it.
they're the ones punished because you guys
Right,
can't get it together. Yep.
right, right.
Yeah.
But then we want to sit there and tell them, oh, listen to your teacher. Shut your mouth while you're in school. Blah, 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 blah. We got it right when it comes to telling them what to do. When it comes to us doing it and setting the
Demonstration.
example,
Yep.
we
Yeah.
fall apart. We
Yes.
fall apart. And I had that conversation in a group on Facebook where a woman was talking about how, she was out in public, was going to a store, and she got mad that the guy took her parking spot. So she decided to get out of the car with her child and confront him. And the guy got hostile with her. And I was just like, Becky, sweetheart, okay, you can't just be running up on people. This is not the
Right.
day or the time. Okay, that's not
Right.
your calling, sis. Don't
Right.
do it, because what are you teaching your child who is right there? What are you teaching her? Because now you're upset, you're all out of sorts, you went home mad, you cooked a struggle mad meal for the family, and they just looking at you sideways because they're like, dang, why is she so angry? Because you told us that you were still stewing about it when you went home.
Right.
So how are you teaching your child who is there to witness this to respond to things like that? It's like these are the things that we don't think about because we're so busy being reactionary to everything and not just saying, you know what, have a blessed day, sir, and keep it moving.
Right.
It's like we're showing our kids how to be triggered.
Right.
So it's like you really have to be
Work.
cognizant of those things that can be toxic within yourself.
Right. And that still comes back to you working on you
Right.
and finding out what's important in life instead of jumping the gun on every little thing that happens. Pick your
Right.
battles. Pick your
Yes.
battles.
Yes.
Pick your battles. So we want to leave you with this. And this is for us and you. Find out what your purpose is. Find out
Mhm.
what, instead of just existing, what are you contributing to society? What
Right.
are you bringing to the table? Because if you're waiting for someone to take care of you, or
Mhm.
again tell you what that is, without you trying to find out what's within you that you can contribute, that misery that you have to jump out of your car with your child to confront somebody is going to destroy you and your family, because that could have
Right.
easily been the last day anybody ever saw you
Exactly.
with your eyes
Exactly.
open. Okay.
Exactly.
So think about it, choose your battles, go within, find out anything about you, and question it. It's okay
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
question you.
Right.
And then we come back to the table and you guys leave messages at the bottom and comment on this video, because
Right.
we want to hear your thoughts. We want to know what you're thinking and how you're feeling.
Right.
And anything, just put
Yes.
it down there. And just remember,
Yes.
this is a safe space, so don't criticize or jump on anyone else. It's just about us having a conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, we appreciate the responses. We will look forward to continuing the conversation. Anything that you guys feel you want us to go deeper on, we would definitely be glad to do that. So definitely give us some ideas of things that you feel are important for your healing, and we can definitely discuss those. So thanks so much, guys, for watching. We had an amazing time, and we'll do this again real soon.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.